Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here, and today we're dipping our toes back into the waters of classic 80s hard rock and heavy metal. We're looking at this new release of classic Dokken material. This is Dokken, the Elektra albums, 1983 to 1987. During these years, the band Dokken released 4 studio albums and some of the greatest tracks to come out of the decade of decadence. I'm going to do an unboxing for this release, and I'll share my opinions. There's a close-up of the box right there. You got that nice Dokken logo. If you look close in the background, you can sort of see elements from their album covers. Kind of hard to see on the camera. Top is just plain. There's the spine. Back has pictures of all 4 albums that are in here, plus the track lists. I do really wish they'd put numbers next to those so it made it easier to find when you're listening to them on the CD player. Legally is down at the bottom. Here's the 4 individual albums, which each get their own package in here. Bottom is just blank, but I did put the hype sticker from the shrink wrap there, so didn't want to throw that away. Now let's take a look at what we get inside here. Like I said, we have 4 studio albums, so we'll start at the beginning and work our way forward. First album in here is Breaking the Chains from 1983. This was actually originally released in 1981 in a slightly different form under the Don Dokken name by Career Records in Europe. And the remixed version that came out in 1983, of course, is the more popular version. I don't know that the Career version's ever even been released on CD, but we'll move on and take a look at what we got here. Nice cover art there, simple and to the point. There's the spine. Back cover got some pictures of the band members. The classic Dokken lineup consisted of Don Dokken, George Lynch, Wild McBrown, and Jeff Pilson. Pilson was not on Breaking the Chains because at the time Juan Crucier was the bass player. He would go on to play with the band Red. Crucier supposedly didn't play any bass but did some new backing vocal parts. And Peter Baltus from Accept apparently played bass on the original Career release in Europe. These stories have been hotly debated and there's no one definite version of them, so don't quote me on any of that, but that is my understanding. Inside the sleeves here, okay, we got our info over there for the band. Here's our CD. I have to say, these individual sleeves are actually very nice. They're not just like the dinky little paper-thin cardboard sleeves you get with some reissues. Underneath the CD, we got a nice Dokken logo there. Speaking of which, here's a close-up of the CD. And each release also includes a fold-open insert. So let's see what we get here for Breaking the Chains. Okay, right here, it's basically just a larger version of the album cover, and that looks very nice. On the back, we have our photos of the band from this era. And I'm guessing this is probably pretty similar to what you'd see on the back if you owned the original vinyl release. This album was produced by Michael Wagner and Dokken. Michael Wagner being a pretty big producer of the era. He also produced the first 2 Skid Row albums. And then if you look down here, it actually says it was recorded at Dirks Studios, D-I-E-R-K-S. That's Dieter Dirks. He was the Scorpions producer, and I didn't really realize there were other producers that used his studio, so that's an interesting thing right there. So, moving on down the line, we now get to the second Dokken studio album and the first to feature bassist Jeff Pilson. That being 1984's Tooth and Nail, the album many people have called Dokken's best album, and that's pretty tough to argue with. Always love that classic cover art there. There's the spine text. Back cover with a shot of the Dokken guys looking like cool dudes. This, of course, like I said, marking the entry point of Jeff Pilson to the band. Nice track list up there at the top. The first album, Breaking the Chains, was primarily known for the song Breaking the Chains and Paris is Burning, and most of the other songs were, deep cuts that aren't known to casual fans. But this album has classics like its title cut, Just Got Lucky, Into the Fire, Alone Again, and then you get some great underrated tunes like Bullets to Spare and When Heaven Comes Down. Here's a look at the inside of the sleeve there with our credits and our disc. Underneath the disc here, it's just got this, it's a continuation of this fiery art, nothing really too special under there. There's the CD itself. Take a look at what we got in here for our insert. Okay, right here we have this weird beastly creature. I'm guessing this is supposed to be the same monster that's we see the hand of on the album cover. And on this side, we've got our lyric sheet and a photo of the band. I'm guessing this is a reprint of what you would get in the original vinyl, the inner sleeve that the disc itself would be in. And this album, if I didn't mention earlier, was produced by Tom Werman, very acclaimed record producer who worked with groups like Cheap Trick, Ted Nugent, LA Guns. He's got a pretty massive resume. We then come to the third release in this collection, that being Under Lock and Key from 1985. Hits on this one included Unchain the Night, The Hunter, In My Dreams, and It's Not Love. But there's also plenty of underrated cuts as well, including the likes of Lightning Strikes Again and Till the Living End. Here's the back cover. Spine text. Inner sleeve. There's our disc as well. Under the disc, kind of just the same thing as the last time. You got like pictures of flames for whatever reason. Here's the disc. I do like how the writing on the discs is different colors and it kind of corresponds to what album you're listening to. Producer on this album was Neil Kernon and Michael Wagner. So Michael Wagner shows his head again there. See what we got inside for our insert. And again, I think this is a reprint of what the inner sleeve looked like on the vinyl, because you got your lyric sheet on this side. Got a great photo of the band members here as well. And Dawkins' fourth and final studio release from the 80s was 1987's Back for the Attack. This one will forever be known for the anthem Dream Warriors that appeared in the Nightmare on Elm Street series, but it also has classic cuts like Kiss of Death, Prisoner, Night by Night, Heaven Sent, Mr. Scary, and Burning Like a Flame. The other albums all had 10 songs on them. This one has 13. This was a little more ambitious because this was just as CDs were coming into style, so you could fit more material on a disc. This is my personal favorite Dokken album right here, although everything in this collection is fantastic. Here's our inner sleeve. This album produced, again, by Neil Kernon, mixed by Steve Thompson and Michael Barbiero. Hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Here's our disc. Here's the art under the disc. You got this horseback soldier there, so that at least has something interesting under there. Now let's see what we get in the inner sleeve. It's got this, like medieval artwork here. This almost kind of looks like Terry Gilliam art from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. On the back here we got photos of the band members and all the legalese and credits. No lyrics for this one, unfortunately. So as you can see, the packaging here is actually put together pretty well. This isn't just some cheap cash and that has a bunch of dinky paper-thin sleeves. However, there are a few issues with this I do need to address before you rush out and buy it. First and foremost, again, you don't get the original Career Records mixes of Breaking the Chains. That's not exactly surprising, but it would have been nice to have because, for instance, the song Live to Rock, Rock to Live has a different title, We're Illegal, and different lyrics in that version, and that version even has a studio version for the song Paris is Burning. The other issues are as follows. First of all, the song Back for the Attack is not included in this set. That was actually a B-side from the Under Lock and Key sessions, and they used the title of that as the title for their next studio album, and it was used as a B-side. The Rock Candy Records reissue actually included that on the Back for the Attack album as a bonus song. I don't know why they couldn't do the same here. But the biggest issue is they omitted Dawkins' final release from the 1980s, that being the seminal 1988 live album Beast from the East, which was a fantastic way for them to end the 80s. And that live album even included one new studio track, Walk Away, actually one of the strongest tracks that this classic incarnation of Dokken recorded. So there are some things missing from this, and I'm not too thrilled about that. I will say this, if you already bought Rock Candy Records remastered versions of the album, don't go out and buy this set, because you honestly have superior versions that have better expanded liner notes, plus the song Back for the Attack included as a bonus song on the other album. Rock Candy also reissued Beast from the East. However, if you are a Dokken fan and you don't already own these albums in some shape or form, in that case, I would absolutely recommend this set. This usually costs probably around $40 to $45, which is not terrible given they actually put some work into the packaging and it's not just a cheap cashing. So overall, Whether this is recommended or not depends on who you are and what you're looking for. If you just want to get all 4 Dokken albums in one place with decent packaging and no frills or extra songs, this fits the bill. You'll spend more on the rock candy reaches if you try to hunt those down, although those do remain my preferred versions of the albums on CD. So again, depends on who you are and what you're looking for. Are you a Dokken fan and did you pick up this set? What do you think of it if you did? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to this channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos. And make sure you give this one a like if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. I'll see you next time.